Okay, here we go. 1 minute out from another casual boots race. So get ready for some quick movement. Although we might have a timer. Yeah, it looks like no timer for tonight. Timer's broken. Flippers. Yeah, depending on how quickly this race goes, maybe we'll stream something afterwards. Crazy things can happen. Okay. Bottle, nice, and the shovel. Weird not having the timer running, but we'll live. Didn't want to kill the bush crab, but oops. Crud. Come on. Just hoping that was only a one-time thing. And that's all fixed. Please don't happen again. Book of Medora, Blue Cane. Only problem is I don't have any bombs. Loot. There we go. And the bow. Wow. Loaded cack. Absolutely loaded. Blue boomerang. Okay. Cool, magic powder. If only we had the hammer. Magic mirror's nice. Actually, you know what? It'll be easier to dash there. Boom, 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 interesting. Another bottle, but we also got the lamp. Okay. Hammer is great. We can clear 2 Light World dungeons? Like seriously, right now I can clear Eastern and Hera, logically. Okay, Ice Rod. Early Ice Rod means that obviously TR is going to be a pendant. Red Cane on the floating island, okay. So we're going to need Dark World access, but then we can go get that. Which means I will get that before I do Ice Palace, which means we will be able to Icebreaker Ice Palace if we have to clear it. So the question is, do we clear Eastern or Hera first? My inclination is to go Eastern. Yeah, we had to skip Ice Rod Cave because of the lack of bombs. But that's okay. We can manage. We have access to desert. You know what? Let's just check. Crystal, red pendant. Okay. I mean, we can clear 2 crystal dungeons already, which is really nice. But our absence of bombs is not great. Okay. 3 items left still. First item. Okay, we're going to big key chest. Guaranteed item in the big chest. Or the big key chest. Sorry. So we can't skip it. But yes, many friends of the channel are racing in this one. Familiar names in the chat list. I saw at least Garrison, CJ, and Vortex were in this one. Don't know who else went for it. Quake. Okay. Not necessarily a good or a bad thing to start off, but it is a thing. Either way, we are still one item from Dark World access right now. Master Sword gives us Aghanim, which I feel like we're a long way away from doing Aghanim at this point. Whereas the glove gives us actual Dark World access. Cool, couple of bombs. Eastern was good. Hera gives me more at this point. Eastern's a good safe play in my opinion always. Okay. Yo, Sean. You're not racing this one? Figured this would have been a half decent time for you. Ah, darn. Didn't want to pull the Vortex special where you start 45 minutes to an hour late behind. That really was a rough race for him. I felt so bad that he had to do that. Yeah, not in this mode. Don't disagree with you there. Casual Boots is definitely one of those modes that you couldn't recover from that, time-wise. Okay, do I care? Whoa! Mitts are Master Sword locked right now. That's a new one. I'm glad I checked. Because that would have been really easy to overlook. Because part of me really considered, after getting that glove on Old Man, that I would just leave and go to Dark World. Oh no. Who'd you face? Ah, Wimpy, okay. Uh-oh. Shoot. This is why you don't go down the bottom. I mean, whiff phases are gonna happen. Question is, were they bad whiffs or like just terrible patterns? Because I feel like, you know, Aga's gonna give you some zero patterns every so often. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know if I've had 3 total whiffs in a while, but I know the feeling. It's never good. Yeah, my group for Plando's set now. So. The 15th. Crud! 2 deaths on Death Mountain. I know I have to go back up there for the Titan's Mitts anyway, so unless the Master Sword was up there, I'm just gonna chance it right now. That I'll find another sword. Because at this point, it's just not worth my time to stress about it. Okay. TR, Skullwoods. Mire is green, and of course Thieves Town is basic. Why is it that Thieves Town seems to have just a higher likelihood of being a pendant? Like, I'd like to see the statistics of Crystal versus Pendant Thieves Town and the other dungeons. Like, I just feel like Thieves has a higher likelihood of it happening. I mean, the only thing I can think of is, like, it's probably easier to full clear Thieves. So you could lock more behind it. So if you wanted a pedestal seed, like, you could easily do that. But that's all I can think of. Okay, we're still fire away from a lot, but we know where the red cane is. Yeah. My question for myself is, when do I just gamble getting those mitts? Like, I know where they are. When do I just go for it? I mean, the big thing I'm hoping for is that my second sword, my only other sword, is on Death Mountain. And we lost it by dying. But yeah, my opponents for the group stage of the Plando, I've got Amarith, Fusion Warrior 86, and that's half the items. I'm out of here. I forget who the fourth person or the other person was. Drawing a blank. I apologize to whoever my other opponent is. So, it'll be a tough group. I know Amarith's pretty good. I haven't faced off with them, but can't imagine that'll be an easy one. I can't find anything about Fusion, unfortunately. It looks like they're a there is SMZ3 runner. So makes finding anything a little bit harder. But it's Plando. I mean, as I've picked up from everything, it's like you gotta throw out everything. This isn't just a regular rando. Yeah, I looked at Amarith's record, and it's very, like, it doesn't tell me, like, I'm gonna win or lose. Like, very, it's a record not all that dissimilar from my own. I see names in there that we've faced other people, and, like, I've won against people that they've lost to, or vice versa. So, like, I don't have a good beat on it. Our NMG times are similar though, so I think roughly I'd say we're pretty equal, I think. So me picking up a few extra skills could make a big difference. Hey, the fire rock. We're in almost no mode. I am a sword and hookshot away from knowing where everything is, besides possible medallion requirement of Bombos. But real quick, we just gotta go get that Cane of Samaria. So you liked that We Were Here game? Joe and I have been doing puzzle games for a while now. We started off with The Witness, and then we just keep finding more puzzle games to do cooperatively. Usually very abstract games like that. Why did I go in that door? Oh, no worries. It was all good. We've just had... It doesn't happen too frequently, but like... we know some people who backseat. So we just try to make sure it doesn't ever become a big issue. So no, you weren't that bad. We've had a lot worse in streams. Cape, okay. Yeah, a mutual friend of ours, well, friend is probably the wrong word for this person, but, would very commonly show up in streams and just start, like, telling us everything. So it was annoying back in the day, so we've, you know, I get a little like, please don't. Yeah, and we've told the person, like, stop. And that person didn't learn. At this point, we really don't talk to that person anyway, so... Okay, we're gonna check out the Hellway. Heart container's nice. I'm not gonna complain about a heart container. No, believe me, you were okay. I didn't see it, so, and we were like pretty far along. I was bad about trying to keep an eye on the chat though. I'm usually better about like interacting with chat, and for some reason during co-streams recently I just haven't. I think it's because there's 2 chats to manage and it just isn't easy. Yo, Mr. Coolness. Hookshot and Master Sword. That's all I need. Otherwise, this is a pretty jet seed. Which could be good, could be bad. There's definitely some negatives to this one. Oh my god, whiff on the arrows. Okay, so Swamp we can get into. I just don't want to go in there without the hook shot. Ice and TR both require the mitts, which requires Master Sword at this point. So Skullwoods first. Maybe a quick ped check. Can anything meaningful be locked behind it? Yeah. Hookshot can be. Unlikely, but possible. That's the only thing that really could be. With half magic, though, Mothheal is going to be a joke. Even with green mail and a fighter sword. Plus, I've got 2 red potions. I'm just taking damage all over the place, though, tonight. Like I said, damage all over the place. We're not chancing this. Yeah, I didn't take a hit after taking that potion, but I was not chancing that fight. No way in hell do I risk losing a moth fight. You don't lose half magic fire rod. Or at least it's not something I'd accept at this point. But I mean, my problem is that casual boots has just been not my mode this season. I don't know what it is. I think I'm still under 500 in this mode. Okay. You still haven't gotten in one? Jeez. That's rough. It's funny, I was talking to Vortex last night, or yesterday afternoon, I think during his All Dungeon Keys race, and I was trying to figure out why he was ranked so low this season, because like, he and I feel like have kind of lined up skill-wise at this point, and then I looked at like the site, and what's sinking him is all of his cross keys races. He's just getting killed in cross keys this season. Wow, okay. Skull Woods was worthless. Yeah, we were joking about it because, like, it's like one of his favorite modes. I mean, I enjoy cross keys. I'm not good at it. But it's definitely a mode. It's a mode I'll play if I'm like, if I've got time, I don't mind going for it. But it's one that I have to have the time to do because I know I'm probably going to be putting in 3+ hours. So like I can't put that in the middle of the day where I know I'm busy, or at night when I'm looking to go to sleep. You know, an 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, sometimes a 10 o'clock start for a cross keys, I'll do. But you get much later than that and it's just like, nah. Can't do it. Okay, we're getting to the point where I'm getting a little worried about some of the skips I made in this race. Because we skipped Ice Rod Cave. Because at that point, I didn't have any bombs. Like I had that one bomb to get into Paradise or into Mini Moldorm, and that was it. And no, I didn't have a glove. At that point, come on, sword for go mode. Yeah, no, my glove was on Old Man. So I didn't have any, like, lift locations. I should have bought bombs at, Kakariko Village. Is really what it was. But it's possible, like, okay, that's not a big deal. I mean, if we just find a sword here in Swamp, we're in go mode. Because we know where everything is. That's all there is to it. Would a third level 3 sword be great? Yes. But all I need is the one, and we are set. I've got Kate, so even Master Sword Ganon, Phase 2 is not going to be terrible. A little bit more health, maybe Blue Mail would be nice, but like, these are minor complaints. If we don't find anything here, then probably Desert will be next. Because really, that's the only one I feel like I need to go to. But if I find a sword, we'll go mode the rest of the dungeon. And really, at this point, we'll skip Left Side Swamp. And only go back in if we don't find a sword. And there is one item we didn't check on the mountain, now that I think about it. My favorite, Spike Cave. I swear. The number of times that place screws me. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I feel like the more I say it, if like an opponent watched a VOD and like all I do is talk about how much I hate Spike Cave, my first thought would be, maybe we put something on Spike Cave to just screw with him. I don't know, is the meta to screw with your opponent or to help yourself? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Dungeon of 1,000 paper cuts. It really is true about this. Okay, that's one item on the left side of Swamp now. Unfortunately, we just don't have a lot of health for this fight. Come on. Get... Low percent fights. These are just not fun. 2 items on left. We gotta go back in. We're running out of places to check, and I need to go in there. We'll do desert right after we check the 2 items. If I can skip having to use Book of Medora to get into desert, infinitely better. So what that does tell me, though, is we would have been in a little bit better of a situation if we had finished Death Mountain, just because, like, would have had Hookshot for a while now, but eh. So the question is, what do I want to play after this? Because I said I might continue the stream after we do this race. Do some Xbox stuff. Not sure what, but something. Looks like we're going to desert. 1 item to check. Dang it, I didn't want the big key. I really wanted the big key to be self-locked. The other possibility right now is the one that I hate the most is Pendant Thieves requiring you to do it. The back. Yep, foiled again. Blue mail's nice. I will grab that. I don't care that it's extraneous and it's extra time. We are not at, like, super high health right now, so blue mail is actually nice. Screw that. We're not getting blue mail. I lied. We're not actually in go mode yet. We do have one thing we have to find out. Do I need Bombos? All I know is that, unfortunately, like, there's definitely a lot of things we could have done better if we didn't take those deaths. But, I mean, my first trip to Zora, we definitely couldn't have done it. Okay, awesome. We are in go mode. But we're going to check real quick for a sword, and we'll probably do Ice Palace before we do TR. Because, like, I'm going to have to climb the mountain again. And having Bombos for Ice Palace is actually really nice. Like, I will gladly take that. Even better. Even better. I mean, at this point, we're just, like, besides the fact that we don't have, like, a ton of health, we're almost in an NMG situation. That, and we have half magic and silver arrows and safeties and other stuff that you wouldn't have for typical NMG, but point still stands. So we're gonna play the low percent strat at this point and just hope 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 health, 9 hearts. Let's go for it. Hopefully we find some hearts along the way. Come on. There we go. Like, that's a good find. $10 hearts. Double digits. Like, really, I'm just trying to do any check that's in the way. I don't know if this is that's a good or a bad thing. It's really a nothing, but I don't know. Fire shield? That's cool. I really can't complain about that one. Because I can use Fire Shield, at least, in a couple of situations. Exactly, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Do I need it? No. Am I gonna turn my nose up at fireball blocking? No. Triple fire rod shots. Woo! When I find my groove, I can get pretty good. Not great, but I will gladly take that. So, unless that fourth sword was somewhere else, I mean, I wasn't gonna check Agana for a while, and I don't know. Pendant Desert, even if you got the book, no glove in Light World, I feel like that's a last check. If my opponent went to Agana that early in this seed, all the power to him. But I don't see it. I don't see that move. Cack Village. But like, by the time we got done Village, you could full clear Eastern and Hera logically. And those two are crystals. So, like, my thought is, in that situation, I'd play the odds and go Eastern Hera first. Especially with Desert being a pendant and no glove. So, it's possible. I just feel like that's a low percent play that I wouldn't make in a one-on-one. Like I said, that's me though. Like, for all I know, my opponent God routed. But it's a tough call. And I don't think I could make it. Yeah, and that's the one thing that's got me, is like, it's definitely like boots and flute are the one reason I'm kind of concerned about it being an early check. It's definitely out, like, me, yeah, Agana is a later check. But I can see, like, a reason to go for it. I mean, it's not a bad play. It's just like, it's a tough call, and that's my issue. Like, I don't know, because I definitely know that there are people out there who will make that play. Like, I know you're not alone in that decision, by far. Because I've definitely raced people who are like that. And you're not the only one who I've raced who does that. And I've gotten screwed by that, you know, by a real smart play like that. Exactly. That is rando. So I don't blame you for making that move. It's a good call. It was just like book, no glove, so that was my reason for not. Like, it crossed my mind, but I saw it as too much of a gamble when I was like, I can clear crystal dungeons at the 10-minute mark of this race. So if you're gonna give me the opportunity, I'm gonna do that. Jeez, Trinex really hurts with green mail. We found the Arrow of Destiny! Woohoo! Arrow of Destiny is not in Validation Chest, Sean. Come on. You know where the Arrow of Destiny is, right? Okay. Yeah, because that is not the Moldorm 2 prize in vanilla. I only learned where that arrow was because I can't do Hammer Yump. And when I was trying to figure out the key route for Hammer Yumpless Pod, I pulled the left Dark Maze, or the left low, and found it. I still can't bring myself to do the other route. I can't bring myself to do right side, even when I get a small key on the right. I keep telling myself, like, it's a good move, it's the right play, it's safer. And I'm always just like, nope. Like, I'm a left side GT person. I just can't not do it. I know the statistics. Like, I understand that doing Dark Magician is safer. Shit. Like, I know that to be the truth. And I still can't do it. Just can't do it. And I keep telling myself every time that I have one of these long left side runs that I need to start doing it, because eventually this is going to be what makes the difference between me winning and losing a race. Yeah. No, I can see that being a tough one. And that's the issue for me, is like... I know why things are the way they are, but... there's just more items on left side than right. And that's why I can't bring myself to do it. You jerk, Zyzax. Two-cycle Lambo 2. I'll take it. Much better than what I can do sometimes. I've had much worse Lambo 2s. I'll take a two-cycle. Land Wallace is probably my weakest of the bosses, to be honest. Interesting idea. I understand why you'd say it. I don't know if I would do it, though. I have gone B strats on Mothula before. That's always a fun one. I still haven't done Hammer yet for Moth. That pattern just wasn't gonna work out great. Eesh. What's with these patterns? Please. Bunch of singles. And we forgot to click the myths. Like, I don't need him to set up in a straight line. I do not need straight line Aga. But, good God, those were just, like, not the kind of ones I wanted to see. 5, 6, 8, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for good luck. Unfortunately, I just can't get the 1 and 1 yet. I need to learn how to do the trident spin. Nice triple. A 138, 139? Not a bad time. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. This was a quick seed. Yep, not quick enough this time. We lost by 8 minutes. Damn. Yeah, I mean, we said it. We said that was gonna. There was a good chance of that. Oops, not Herfendurfen. I didn't race Herfen. Thanks, Sean. Have a good one. Okay, no reason to delay on fast forwarding through these. So let's just fast forward. Get this done with. And then we can go play other games. I think I'll complete Timberman tonight. Okay. My opponent's playing something else. That's why they're indisposed to answering some questions. I'll watch their VOD later to see what they did, because I want to know what I kind of screwed up. Like, I know the deaths on DM were big, because that caused me to do a whole extra climb just for that hook shot. And that's a lot of time, but I gotta imagine there was something else that we missed. Or, like, something else they did. Like, if they went up the mountain the first time with the Master Sword, then they would have had me. Easy. Easy kill on me. Easy farm. Okay. We lost by 8 minutes to, let me make sure I say the name right, to Asmati Games. It was quite jet. Yeah, I didn't think I played it bad. We just kind of routed it a little wrong. Go mode was Master Sword, because... And I'm guessing where I kind of screwed up big was Asmati... Well, I can at least point out two things. I died climbing Death Mountain twice. So once going to Hera, I died. And then once after Hera, heading over to Paradox, I died. Hookshot was in Paradox Cave. So that kind of hurt there. But I thought we made up time there pretty well. The bigger problem is that, and I'll have to watch the VOD for Asmati. Ooh, yeah, that's rough. That happens. But the other thing was that a second sword was in Agena, and Titan's Mitts were on Ether Tablet. So I'm guessing that there's a decent chance that they got their second sword before heading up the mountain, and thus had Titan's Mitts that first trip. Like, I think it's a distinct possibility that they were able to do that. So... and that would have saved a ton of time. Like, I thought everything else we did was pretty good. Eastern went well, Pod went fine, Hera was good. We made some, like, little things in Hera, but decent. Swamp was okay. Skull Woods with Fighter Sword was fine. I thought we got lucky with finding Fire Rod on Zora, which could have been, like, an easy mistake that led us down a bad road if we had missed it. But money was tight at the beginning of the seed, and we had flippers. So I went and checked everything, but didn't have money for Zora. But by the time I went to Quakefish, I had plenty, so that was fine. My Ice Palace was good, and my TR was fine. And GT... my GT wasn't good either, to be honest. I should have Dark Magicianed I really need to get into the habit of Dark Magicianing GT and forcing myself to do right side. But unfortunately, once again, I didn't. We did full left. It was in Compass Room. So I need to get into the habit of either, getting a key on right side and going full right, or going to Stalfos Room on the left and then go full right. And I just haven't brought myself to it yet. Because each Death Mountain death, like the first one was probably about a minute. The second one was probably 2. Left side GT is another 2. So there's over half of my loss right there. Yeah, I was talking with Sean Rhapsody about it as well, and he was watching and he was like, he has the same problem of gambling to not do left side, or either side's a gamble. GT routing is important, and I'm just not there yet. I'll make a mistake, but it happens. But I want to keep streaming, and I'm going to play something else. We did our Zelda race for the day. Yeah. And that's why I go left, because there's more than half the checks are left side, and right side is just Hope Room and Compass Room. And I can't do it. Because I will do Hope Room, then full left. And I've definitely gotten screwed a few times. Not enough to win, but enough where if it was closer, I would have lost. So. But, them's the breaks. Yeah. So, I need to mix it up. The statistics tell you that if you go right side and it's not there, you only lose a little bit of time. But if you go full left and it's not there, you lose a ton of time. So, such is life. I will watch back my opponent's VOD because I do want to see what they did. But let's end the recording.